All right, let's get you the big breaking news coming in at the moment amid the executive versus judiciary face-off. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar's big remarks. The Parliament is supreme is what the Vice President has said. Public representatives are severely accountable on occasions through elections. In fact, Jagdeep Dhankhar, the Vice President, goes on to say a Prime Minister who imposed emergency was held accountable. Democracy is for the people and is repository of safeguarding it is that of elected representatives. They are the ultimate masters as to what constitutional content will be. There is no visualization in Constitution of any authority above Parliament. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar once again making a comment on that tussle, that ongoing tussle that has been going on between the executive and judiciary. The Vice President, in fact, concluding his remark with saying Parliament is supreme. Rishabh is joining us on the broadcast with more on this. Rishabh, the Vice President once again making his opinion clear on this entire ongoing tussle between the judiciary and executive, saying the Parliament is supreme and that even public representatives are accountable in front of the people, in front of the citizens of the country.
Well, definitely. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar has been saying this not for the first time, but it has been a repeated statement coming in from Jagdeep Dhankhar, the Vice President. We heard him on the issue of Tamil Nadu government versus governor case as well, where the Supreme Court laid down a time frame of 90 days for presidential assent to any bill coming in from the state, and if not in 90 days, then a reasoning has to be given. Back then also, judiciary versus executive debate was rigged up by Jagdeep Dhankhar, and now Parliament is supreme. Remember, this statement is coming in the wake of the passing of Wakf amendment bill that has been passed in the recently concluded Parliament session. It was challenged in Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has asked to maintain a status quo till next hearing, which is 5th of May. Amid all this, a statement coming in from Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar, who happens to be the chairman of Rajya Sabha, is of very much importance. We saw how the statements coming in from few BJP leaders have ignited a controversy. Now, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar saying that Parliament is supreme in a way sends a strong message that how executive body, the Parliament, the Vice President's office sees this whole thing, and in their words, quote unquote, an overreach by Supreme Court, and that is the reason that this whole debate has reignited, that who is who has an upper hand, whether it will be executive bodies, which include the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, the Parliament, or the judiciary, where the cases are right now pending.
Right, Rishabh, stay with us as we also get our viewers what the Vice President had said a few days ago on this ongoing battle between the executive and judiciary. Viewers, listen in.
We cannot have a situation where you direct President of India, and on what basis? The only right you have under the Constitution is to interpret the Constitution under Article 145(3), Article 142. Article 142 has become a nuclear missile against democratic forces, available to judiciary 24/7.
All right, so that is, of course, the Vice President when he had made his opinion very clear on this entire ongoing tussle between the executive and the judiciary, saying Article 142 has been, in fact, used as a nuclear missile against the executive. Of course, yesterday we also saw the Supreme Court bench of Justice Gawai saying that we've already been accused of interfering with the executive, with the government functioning. My colleague Pragya is joining us on the broadcast at the moment. Pragya, another day, another comment by the Vice President making his stand very clear on where he stands between executive and judiciary.
You're absolutely right, and in fact he was speaking on the event of a Constitution Day, and he said that Constitution is also a repository of the cultural ethos and aspirations of people, and we had seen how it was trampled during the emergency time, and that was the time when Supreme Court looked away from the unanimous decision of High Courts, where those High Court said that you cannot do away with the fundamental rights, but Supreme Court did not listen to them. So he was also making a point that that was the time when Judiciary also interpreted Constitution in its own way. And in fact, today while speaking said that you cannot direct President, and he is the appointing President, he or she is the appointing authority of CJI. He also deliberated on point that Parliament is supreme, and in fact it is supreme as every individual in the country. So thereby re-emphasizing what he earlier said, that the Parliament makes.
Pragya, I'm going to come back to you right now on the broadcast. We are joined by Rashid Alvi of the Congress Party. Rashid Alvi, the Vice President, making it clear that public representatives are accountable to the people of the country. They are also answerable to the citizens of the country. Once again, Jagdeep Dhankhar making his opinion very, very clear in this ongoing tussle. Your response?
Yeah, definitely. MPs and MLAs, they are elected by the people of this country. And this is the part of democracy. And it is also true that Parliament is the supreme. Laws are made in the Parliament, and laws are interpreted by Supreme Court. Important thing is, Supreme Court is also very important. You cannot ignore Supreme Court. Supreme Court is bound to interpret the laws passed by the Parliament, whether it is within the jurisdiction of Parliament or not, within the jurisdiction of Constitution of India or not. You cannot change basic features of the Constitution. You cannot change fundamental rights of the Constitution. If Parliament has passed any law which is contrary to the Constitution, fundamental rights, basic features of the Constitution, then Supreme Court can point it out. Supreme Court can say it is against the Constitution. So if as far as supremacy of Parliament is concerned, I agree with this.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rashid Alvi, thanks very much for joining us on Times Now. Let's also, viewers, listen in to what the Vice President had said a few days back as far as this entire tussle between executive and judiciary is concerned.
We cannot have a situation where you direct President of India, and on what basis? The only right you have under the Constitution is to interpret the Constitution under Article 145(3), Article 142. Article 142 has become a nuclear missile. Constitution is encapsulated, its essence, its worth, its nectar in preamble of the Constitution. And what does it say? We, the people of India. The supreme power is with them. No one is above the people of India. And we, the people of India, under the Constitution, have chosen to reflect their aspirations, their desire, their will, through their public representatives. And they hold these representatives accountable, severely accountable on occasions, through elections. A Prime Minister who imposed emergency was held accountable in 1977. And therefore, let there be no doubt about it. Constitution is for the people, and its repository of safeguarding it is that of elected representatives. They are the ultimate masters as to what constitutional content will be. There is no visualization in Constitution of any authority above Parliament. Parliament is supreme.
All right, so that was Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar saying that the Parliament is supreme, and once again reiterating that public representatives are answerable to the people of the country. My colleagues Rishabh and Pragya continue to be with us on the broadcast. Rishabh, once again, the Vice President clarifying that it is the citizens who decide what and how the public representatives will move forward, because they are the ones who are answerable to the people of the country. Yesterday, of course, we saw the Supreme Court bench of Justice Gawai also saying, in fact, that was the first response that the Supreme Court gave on this entire tussle, saying that we are accused of interfering in parliamentary functions. That, of course, taking forward this entire tussle.
Well, definitely, Justice Gawai, yesterday, while dismissing a petition against Nishikant Dubey by a lawyer, saying that you have to follow the process, and have you taken a clearance, have you taken a clarity from Attorney General before moving to court or not? While saying this, he also went on to say that any which way we are being, alleged, we are being accused of interfering in government functioning, executive functioning. So that was the first statement that came in from the Supreme Court after what BJP MP Nishikant Dubey said against Chief Justice of India, Justice Sanjeev Khanna. And now, the statement coming in from Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar, it looks like an all-out war of word between executive and judiciary. Now, first it was, Nishikant Dubey, then we heard it from Agnamitra Paul, BJP MLA in West Bengal. Now Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar also saying, and this all on the pretext that Supreme Court has put a status quo on Wakf amendment bill till the next hearing, which is 5th of May, and the centre has been asked to file an affidavit, a response in 7 days, which would be sometime this week. And that, amid all this, the people close to the government who actually feel that the Wakf Amendment Act is important legislation that has been passed by the Parliament, and Supreme Court has no right to interfere in it, have been, very vocal against the Supreme Court, and that's
right. Actually, let me take this across to Pragya as well. Pragya, feelers coming in from the government as well since the past few days, regarding this entire battle that has been going on, the war of words between the executive and the judiciary, those coming in from the government as well, if not directly.
Absolutely, and Vice President is a constitutional post, and in fact, if you remember, Jairam Ramesh and other political leaders from the Congress had attacked Mr. JP Nadda when he said that we respect judiciary and no one is supposed to speak against judiciary. They said, why not having these directions to someone who is also holding a constitutional post like Jagdeep Dhankhar? It seems like Mr. Jagdeep Dhankhar, who is a Vice President, also Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, is re-emphasizing the point of view that his interpretation of the Constitution is that there is nothing supreme than Parliament, because they are the aspirations and will of the people, and will of the people is always supreme in a democracy. And this is exactly what he is re-emphasizing here while speaking to the law students, saying that Parliament is supreme because they are the representative of the people. So thereby, by making it very clear to the judiciary that you may interpret law as per your convenience, or you may interpret law as you deem fit, but there is a sentiment in there is also spirit of the Constitution that says that you also have to look at the Parliament that make laws and make policies and that passes law with a majority. You also have to respect about that. This all, it started with the interpretation of the law. Also, when they directed President of India to pass any bill that comes for his or her assent, within 3 months. This is what hurt Jagdeep Dhankhar most, and he said that I never thought that I'll live to this day to see someone who is appointed by the President, directing President to give the decision in a time-bound manner. And there are times when judiciary is overstepping its boundaries, and it's an overreaching attempt by the judiciary. So it surely looks like that Jagdeep Dhankhar is also voicing the sentiment and also the notion within the government. Government is not liking how the judiciary is also trying to sort of allegedly dilute the contents of the Wakf bill. So all of that seems to be part of that, and there is a narrative that seems to be going that, ultimately Parliament makes the law, they passes the law. Anyone can go to Supreme Court, but ultimately Supreme Court also has to take into consideration.
Right, and of course we'll have to see how this entire battle moves forward. But for now, the Vice President reiterating his stand once again that the Parliament is supreme and that the public representatives, the elected representatives, all of them are answerable to the citizens of the country, and that the last word lies with the Parliament. We'll keep coming back to you, both of you, Pragya and Rishabh. Thanks very much for joining us at the moment, getting us those details. Viewers, it's time for a short break. News and updates continue on the other side.